All right, now we have an announcement for SummerSlam: three-way elimination match: PCP versus Bad versus Team Bella. We knew that. I said PCP, PCB versus Bad versus Bella. See, that's even worse than the submission sorority.
Yeah, don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you must, make sure you don't get caught.
Exactly. See, there. Oh,
Up next, we had our fifth match of the night, and one of my favorite segments of the night, actually: Rusev versus Mark Henry. Lana on commentary, and commentary's talking to Lana about Dolph Ziggler. They ask her how he's doing, if he's going to be back, and she announces that he will be back after SummerSlam. But then when we actually get to the match, there isn't really much of a match, is there?
no, because just like the last time we saw this, which I could have sworn was only 2 weeks ago, Rusev squashed Mark Henry, and
Well, no,
he
there
did.
wasn't even a clean finish to the match. It was a disqualification.
Well, I'm saying that's what happened 2 weeks ago,
Oh.
and yeah, it looked like he was on the path to doing the same thing. But to your point, Ashton, first Lana gets on the apron, and then
Summer got on the apron first, dude.
Summer got on the apron.
And
Excuse me.
Lana pulled her down off the apron to kind of prevent her from helping Rusev to cheat. And then Summer recovered in time to throw Lana into the ring, and she just kind of ended up like being at Rusev's feet. And then as she was getting up, Summer comes back in the ring, and they start brawling in the middle of the ring, and that was what caused the DQ, which I thought it was incredibly dumb because neither one of them touched Rusev or Mark Henry.
Right,
Like,
and
I mean, I've seen matches break down before, like tag matches that got thrown out, but this was a singles match, and neither one of the competitors got physically attacked by anyone.
yeah, and it's so
This was a
weird that that
distraction.
happens.
Like, if you're going to disqualify, if you're going to throw a match out for a distraction, 90% of Raw's storytelling would be in the gutter.
That's so true too. But I think, without confusing that all was the post match. I think made it worth it.
Yes,
Um,
I agree.
because the Summer Rae's really putting the boots to Lana, and then Rusev looks at her and he says, Summer, crush, and then she puts Lana in the accolade,
And
which
it's honestly, I love Rusev's accolade, but this was better than anything he's ever done.
yeah, I actually really liked Summer Rae's form here because I think, didn't
She got
she
up
have
on
it
her
like on her
tippy
toes?
toes and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, really wrenched back on it,
Yeah.
and really cool. And then she kind of, does, parts her hair, fixes it up as Rusev poses. But then the thing that a direct line to my funny bone, the Bulgarian flag comes down, but it has Rusev on it.
Rusev, Bulgarian flag.
I love it. I absolutely love it. It's like
Oh
the
man.
only thing that makes this country great. Me.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's like I don't know if it was last week or the week before with the whole thing with the little puppy and the fish. He was just telling Summer to take the fish, take it. You need to take it. This is like that. It's like people you need to just accept. This is the Bulgarian flag now.
Dude, I really hope that we do get to see Rusev in like bigger programs in the future, for the world title or with a Seth Rollins when he's facing stuff because he's so good.
Yeah.
I'm really getting behind that movement now of just getting Rusev higher up on the card. Like I hope that his whole flurry with the U.S. title and his feud John Cena
Yeah,
that
well, I
was
was
the
going to
best.
even say it seems like just recently he was kind of mixing it up with Cesaro and Kevin Owens, and now why is it that they were in the championship number one contenders match tonight and he wasn't?
Yeah, especially considering that he won that triple threat that they were a part of.
Yeah,
Like,
really. He
maybe
pinned
they're waiting.
Cesaro. I mean, he could have, he might have put up more of a fight against Randy Orton.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe they're waiting to really pull that kind of a trigger on Rusev, but I think he's ready now. Personally, I think I said it during our year-end awards, last year. I just feel like he's one of the best prospects, one of the most surprising prospects that WWE has come upon in some time. Really
I
love
honestly kind
Rusev.
of feel like Rusev would have been better eating the pin there than Cesaro too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Cesaro's really been in kind of a bind lately, especially after tonight, but we'll see what SummerSlam and the aftermath of that holds for him. But for right now, back to, Summer and Rusev, I really enjoy this pairing. And I don't know what they're going to do when Ziggler comes back, but honestly, I'm kind of looking forward to when we just get past it,
Yeah,
because I think Rusev definitely deserves better. So,
I would not disagree with that.
all right, well, I appreciate that. So, what came after this, brother?
After this, we had a whole ton of Stephen Amell and Stardust recap. Just going through the whole story. They used a lot of really cool comic book looking graphics that I really thought were well done. And then we get to our sixth match of the night: King Barrett versus Neville.
Yeah, pretty much a squash match.
Yeah, I mean, I have in here borderline squash. Maybe if we want to be a little more PC with it, we can call it an exhibition match for Neville, just to kind of show off what he can do.
Right.
Because that's really all it was. It was just Neville getting offense pretty much the entire match.
Yeah, but to me it felt like I turned my head away for 1 second, I turn it back, and Neville's hit the red arrow and he's gotten the win.
Yeah.
So like really
And then,
quicker
but
than a
that's the
hiccup.
thing though, as soon as the match was over, Stardust attacked.
Yeah, immediately just stomping away at Neville and really punching away at him, and then he turns his head and he notices Stephen
I
Amell, which was just
loved the
great.
head turn. I know it's just such a stupid little thing to pick out, just a little nuance. I loved the head turn because he could have done like the full body turn to look at Amell, but he just turned the head. It reminded me of something out of a comic book, or maybe like a graphic novel or a movie made after a graphic novel or an anime or something like that. It just was so good. I even
Absolutely.
told you while we were watching it, like it reminded me of something that Frieza would have done on DBZ.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. And then, he confronts Stephen Amell and he ends up pie facing him, just taking his hand, shoving the
I
face.
have on my notes that he face palmed Amell,
Yeah. But
but
then
yeah,
you were really impressed with Stephen Amell's athleticism here though, because
dude. Here's my
yeah.
thing. Okay, I for the longest time, like I thought it was cool that Brock Lesnar could clear the ropes in one jump, but I didn't think it was like the biggest deal that like no one else could do it. I just thought no one else bothered to do it. Then Tough Enough comes along, and Tanner, who is easily the most athletic guy on that show, tried to jump over the ropes and he couldn't. One of his feet ended up getting caught and he face planted in the ring. So to see a guy like Stephen Amell, who has no real wrestling training that I know of, I mean, I know that he apparently, I didn't know this at the time, but then I ended up looking into it a little bit more. And apparently he does parkour, so obviously it makes sense now. But, but yeah, like to see someone that I had no real familiarity with and that I didn't know had any kind of wrestling or athleticism training like that whatsoever. Not only did he hop the barricade, but then he jumped from the floor to the apron in one jump, and then he cleared the ropes in another jump. So three jumps, and he went from sitting outside the barricade to in the ring. I was incredibly impressed by his athleticism. Yeah.
Yeah, great stuff. And then he tackles Stardust and really puts the punches to him.
Yep.
And then Barrett helps Stardust out of the ring as Neville and Stephen Amell stand tall. And yeah, really great energy from this segment. I'll tell you, normally I cringe when celebrities get involved in the WWE product, but so far this year between Jon Stewart, I don't know if any others were kind of in between all that, and then now Stephen Amell. I mean, those two really stick out to me. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. I'm very curious how SummerSlam will shake out because we know what's going to happen with that now. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's did that segment come immediately after or
The
was that a little bit later?
next segment, it was the backstage thing, but there was something in between this and that I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
The NXT promo that we got.
Ah,
Did
yes.
you catch that?
I caught a little bit of it, yes.
Oh, I was so happy that they showed this. They showed some NXT clips and then Triple H's voice being like, NXT is taking over the world. And it was awesome. And then they went out of their way to specifically promote Bayley versus Becky Lynch on Wednesday for the number one contendership for the women's championship. And I just love the attention that NXT got with this one little promo. And then at the end, all they had to do, and they did it, they added by the WWE Network so that you can watch this show. I love it. They need to do this every single episode of Raw and just advertise what the big matches that they're hyping up for that week of NXT.
Yeah, dude, I've seen that promo before, and it's a really well done promo. And then again, like you said, the idea that they highlighted Bayley versus Becky Lynch. First of all, great stuff because it's a women's match and it
Well,
makes
and not
people go,
only is it a
"Wow."
women's match, but now people are at least somewhat familiar with Becky Lynch, so they know kind of what they're getting out of her. Obviously, they haven't seen the extent of what she can do, which I'm sure she's probably going to at least come close to showing on Wednesday because that match is probably going to main event. But now it's like, oh, well, this Bayley chick is going against Becky Lynch. I wonder if she's any good, and I wonder why she didn't get called up along with Becky, Sasha, and Charlotte. And that it raises the intrigue. It makes people want to check it out.
Absolutely, I
And then they
completely
see
agree.
Bayley with her wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube men and all of her fans and her reactions that she gets. And she comes out and she's this pure baby face and those things don't even exist anymore. And then Becky Lynch comes out with her badass smoke and her goggles and her bright orange hair and the visuals are awesome. And then they put on a 15-minute classic and people are like, oh my God, how have I not seen this show yet?
Yeah, absolutely. I really wish WWE and like the main roster products of Raw and SmackDown would get more behind NXT because when they do promotion, it can never hurt,
Yeah.
you know. So
I
I
mean, like,
love seeing
I
that.
would rather see a 2-minute NXT promo like this than, honestly, I would have rather seen this than the freaking Barrett Neville match. Just a squash match that makes Barrett look awful and does nothing for Neville.
Right. So, great stuff that they did that. I hope it does help. I mean, you did say that NXT TakeOver Brooklyn has sold out.
It has
So,
over
yeah,
13,000 tickets sold.
guys, it's going to be an insane crowd. I'm actually really pumped for NXT TakeOver Brooklyn just for the crowd size alone and how loud they're going to be during this
Yeah,
show.
I mean, that's similar numbers to some WrestleManias, man.
Yeah, man, it's going to be nuts.
I cannot wait to watch that show. And that show's going to be almost a full week after our last G1 show. So hopefully our voices will have recovered by then too.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when we do live reactions, we go hard, guys. So it's
Yeah,
going to be something else.
it's going to be fun. Well, then that's another thing too. It's probably only going to be another 2-hour show.
Right.
So, man, definitely excited for that. But let's get back on track here. Now we get the Stephen Amell, Neville, and Triple H backstage segment where Triple H is all angry and talking about how you're just an actor. You're never going to be one of us. Wink.
And then Stephen Amell is just like, look, I don't care. Whatever paperwork you need me to sign, I'll sign it. He just wants to get in the ring with Stardust.
Yep.
And then Triple H, just kind of almost wags a finger, says, well, I tried to warn you. You're signing your own death warrant here, but if you want to get in the ring so bad, it's going to be you and Neville versus King Barrett and Stardust at SummerSlam. So I don't think this tag match will be bad. In fact, compared to other celebrity tag team matches that we've seen in the past, Stephen Amell might do very well for himself. We'll wait and see.
He's the
But
opposite of Eva Marie.
and Snooki, because I keep
No,
thinking
no,
about
I'm
her.
saying he's the opposite of Eva Marie because he's an athlete, and that like automatically, like if you have that natural athleticism that he put on show tonight, you're gonna be able to pick wrestling up way faster than someone like Eva
Right.
Marie who is about athletic as my computer table.
There you go. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. And the great thing is, I mean, actually from what you told me, you saw that some Arrow fans are actually going to turn in to SummerSlam
Yeah,
and see what it's all about because of him. So he's already
yeah.
kind of helping the buy rate.
Well, on Reddit, I'm gonna show you two different angles here that you're gonna appreciate both of. On
Right.
Reddit, I saw a lot of people saying, "Oh, I tuned in just to see Stephen Amell, and I sat through 2 hours of Raw for 15 seconds of Stephen Amell. Worth it." And then there
Right.
were people talking about how like they wanted to buy SummerSlam just to see that match and that kind of thing. And then apparently there were people on Twitter being like, "Oh, like this show sucks. I hate this show." But then at that same time talking about how Stephen Amell's amazing and they're going to buy SummerSlam. So it's a win-win for WWE.
Really amazing how this guy could be helping, the buy rate for people that still do traditional pay-per-view and the subscriber rate for the network potentially.
Yeah.
I'll be very curious to see how much mileage he has, especially if the match
Yeah, like it's
actually
crazy
delivers.
because we always shit all over JBL for holding up those retarded cue cards and being like, "Here's $54.99, here's $9.99. Which do you want to pay?" But that actually was really appropriate for a night like tonight when you have a bunch of completely uninitiated fans tuning in for the first time.
Absolutely. That's a great point, Ashton. Completely agree with you, man. So,
It was kind of insulting to the intelligence that he was actually holding up cue cards. They should find a better way to do that, but I like that they advertise the network at least.
well, JBL either goes full blown ham or he doesn't do it at all. So, I guess, yeah, cue
Yeah,
cards
yeah,
are,
maybe JBL just shouldn't do it. Let Byron handle that.
yeah, Byron's so much better.
He
So,
is. He really is. Do you ever get
uh,
the vibe that Michael Cole is just a total dick to Byron Saxton in real life?
dude, get that vibe. Did you ever see those two work together on Main Event?
No.
I
I mean, I might
have.
have. I don't know.
I have. It's pretty bad. There was one point where I think Titus O'Neil was on commentary, and Eric Rowan was in a match with Kane, and Eric Rowan accidentally spilled Titus O'Neil's soda, or he made it explode or something, and Byron Saxton and Michael Cole got up from the announce desk, and Michael Cole pretty much looked at Saxton, and he said, "Clean this up. Clean that up." Like, pretty much commanding him, "You clean this desk up."
Wow.
Yeah, Michael Cole's a douche nozzle to Byron Saxton.
Yeah. I wonder if that's a kayfabe thing or a real thing, though.
I'm starting to wonder if it's a real thing myself. I'm getting a bit concerned.
Yeah. Byron Saxton is the abused.
I mean, at least the abuse that he engages in with Corey Graves, that has an element of adorable to it. With Cole, it's
Yeah,
like,
because they play off of each other really well.
exactly. With Cole, it's just straight up mean spirited.
Uh, Corey Graves talking about how Saxton hasn't had a girlfriend in 12 years, and Saxton's just like, you don't even know me.
Oh, Byron, you're just jealous because you never made the cheerleading show. You don't know anything about me.
Yeah. So good. All right.